Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and I am here with a rare SmackDown live review. So I figure let's give SmackDown a chance. I'll go through the matches and pleasantly surprised that this was better than Raw. No Fat Boy Joe. Actually, a couple of things that were genuinely entertaining. I didn't feel like I was struggling to watch the show. I didn't feel like my eyes were burning. My crotch didn't itch. It didn't, it was at least a little bit pleasant to watch. Not a spectacular show, but it was decent to say the least. Uh, you know, Nothing special really happened, but it's a couple of things on here I liked. We started off with this Money in the Bank reveal of the briefcase. Ooh, it's a briefcase, except it's white. Lana debuts. She, like I've said 1,000 times, she looks so much better with the hair down. They were doing her a great injustice by having her hair up in the bun all those years. No Rusev. I don't know if they're changing their minds. I don't know where Rusev is. It's not really like I care all that much, but anyway, she comes out. She wants to be involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Naomi says that who she beaten and everything. This segment wasn't too great. You really didn't have a lot of great dialogue here. And would you really expect it? I don't know. It's not like it was mind-numbingly bad or anything, but just Lana walking away, getting insulted. Shane says that this is not the time or the place, and it's kind of like they put it out there, and you kind of feel if they're gonna have a segment, something should happen at least. There, you can't really say anything really happened here. You could make the argument that okay, so you know, then they have the tag match with Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina beating Naomi, Becky, and Charlotte because Lana comes out and grabs a leg. So you could say it leads up to that. But, the segment is just the dialogue between the women is not great. Most of the girls didn't even talk. They're holding microphones, but nobody even really speaks. You just have basically Naomi and Lana speaking. And it's not like everybody needs to chime in because that shit gets annoying as well when they have everybody, chime in on the same promo, on the same segment. It could have been handled a little bit better. You had AJ Styles defeating Dolph Ziggler, and I can't help but feel like this is a main event match. The fact that this is being presented as like a mid-card style match, you've got two world champions in here, and they're wrestling like it's almost like a cruiserweight match. No fanfare. It's just like, oh, can AJ, beat Ziggler because Ziggler beat him last week? These are two massive stars. These are some of the few guys that actually look the part. These are actually guys that have charisma. And they're just treating them like nobodies. Like they're treating it like a TJ Nurkins match. But you watch a match like this, and you're seeing two great guys at work here. So I mean, I enjoyed the match. I just didn't appreciate that they're treating it like it's really nothing special. They could do a little bit more. The Fashion Files. When I said that I was entertained by this SmackDown, I'm actually referring mostly to this segment. Not that there was anything bad or horrible, but this stood out to me. This Breezango tag team started off as a jobber tag team that didn't have a lot going for it. It was basically two wrestlers where you had Fandango, who at first McMahon was invested in him, and then he realized that a dancing superstar isn't really the right gimmick to bring a guy to the top of the ladder. And Tyler Breeze was simply just a guy that, well, he just couldn't get over with the crowd. They didn't give him enough You know, doesn't exactly have the look to take himself to the top. And of course, you could also say that they just didn't help, you know, these guys like Fandango. Basically, they gave up on him. Where was this guy's momentum? He beat Jericho at Mania back in 2013, and after that, they didn't really do anything else with the guy. You know, after having that stupid storyline where they had Layla and Summer Rae, and then they gave him Rosa Mendez, and he kept switching, you know, valets. It was like they clearly showed that they had no idea what to do with the guy. And this was McMahon's project. This was the one guy that McMahon wanted, you know, to bring from the bottom up to the top. But they gave a black and white presentation here, like an old detective movie, like old like PIs, like private investigators, really pushing the envelope here of being, you know, like the fashion police. You had a bulletin board with Michael Hayes. It said repeat offender. You had the big boss man on there. Yeah, they had a couple of other jokes. They had "Here's looking at you, Kidman," and it was Billy Kidman up on the board. So you had a lot of little funny things, especially with the dialogue. You had New Day come in there, and you know they were goofing around in the hallway. They walk in, they're like bewildered why they're all black and white. It was original. It was entertaining, and you know maybe not a lot was gotten out of this. You know, like what was it eventful? No, but I have to say it was entertaining, and it shows that SmackDown is willing to take a simpler approach instead of trying to overcomplicating things like with mysterious text messages and Big Cass beating himself up. You know, there's you know, you had a sense that they actually sat down creative. Brian James, you know, who's like the head of creative for SmackDown, actually sits down and looks at this show and says, "How can we entertain a little bit?" It's not doing a great job, but I see segments like this, and I'm seeing effort. That's all I'm really saying here is I'm seeing effort. You know, I not uproariously laughed at this segment, but I giggled, I chuckled, I was entertained. I wanted to keep watching. I didn't feel tormented. I didn't feel like my eyeballs, you know, should be ripped from my fucking skull. So I guess that was a fucking plus. Um, you know, this was like entertaining. They were also doing an inner monologue, and no, you know, was wondering why New Day couldn't hear them. It's a good segment. I, you know, recommend that you watch it. If you don't see it, you won't be like missing out on, you know, the moment of the year. But for those who want some sports entertainment, who want to be genuinely entertained, you should probably check out the segment. Jinder Mahal defeated Mojo Rawley. So this is an interesting little state of affairs, and I talked about this in the past. If they were going to put Mahal over as the champion, you know, and I'm happy that they did because, you know, post match, you saw exactly why this guy is the champion. Mahal was thrown over the top rope in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal on the pre-show of Mania, mind you. The pre-show of Mania didn't even make it to the main show. Who won that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Mojo Rawley did. And this match was given to him by Shane McMahon in a backstage segment so he could qualify for the Money in the Bank. He's not going to be in the Money in the Bank. He's probably not even going to be at the pay-per-view. He's probably not even going to be on the pre-show. This just shows that they have no prior planning. Or they might have planned something and totally scrapped it. But you think about after the moment with Mojo at Mania, the following SmackDown, did they do anything with the guy to capitalize off the momentum of winning that oh so important Battle Royal? I mean, this is a a battle royal that's supposed to be in the memory of one of the greatest draws in the history of the company. And, you know, they they gave it the same thing to Baron Corbin. You basically look at all the winners that you've had over the years, and none of these guys have really done anything. You would think that this is supposed to be a battle royal, which is kind of like Money in the Bank. It's going to give birth to the next big star. You know, you win a battle royal, you defeat a whole bunch of other guys, you stand out as the guy who managed to beat all the others. So Mahal beats Mojo, and I'm watching Wade Keller. Wade Keller says, "Oh, well, Mojo gets an out. They're protecting Mojo because there was an eye rake in the match." Well, Keller, are you fucking serious? Do you really think in 2017 people are going to be like, "Oh, well, Mojo would have won that match if it wasn't for the eye rake"? Give me a fucking break. They don't protect wrestlers nowadays, you fucking goofball. Wrestlers kick out of thousands of finishers. Or have you not been watching? Well, does this goofball, he watches wrestling for a fucking living. He watches more wrestling than any of you goofballs put together probably out there in the YWC. And still this guy makes retarded comments like that. An eye rake protects Mojo. Mojo has not been protected since Mania. They don't give a fuck about Mojo because Mojo's not over. And whose fault is it that Mojo's not over? It's their fault! So they're not protecting him. They don't need to protect him because he's worthless, really. Could he be a big star? I don't know. Probably not. Because they're not even really interested in this guy. They're like with fucking ADD, Oh, we got like this guy. Oh, don't like him. Gotta go to this guy. Oh, don't like him. Gotta go to this guy. Oh, gotta... No, enough of that! This is my fear with Jinder Mahal. After the match, I liked the guy's promo. Saying that he is the cure, he is the medicine, and he is going to, cure the fans of the disease of Randy Orton. I liked it. Look at the guy's face when he's cutting this promo. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. Like the faces that he's making, the rage, the heelish. He looks like a bad guy, right? I want you to just keep that in mind. Backstage, you have Orton cutting a promo. So this is very strange how they're handling this. You're not really seeing a lot of interaction with Orton or Mahal. There's no sneak attacks or anything like that. Mahal should be one-upping Orton. He should be attacking this guy from behind backstage. He should be shouting at him, making those great facials. But it's just Orton very calmly saying that he got a lot of calls from legends like Harley Race, and they were telling him to just, chill out and wait for the match. Would Harley Race chill out? That doesn't sound like something Harley Race would say. Back in the day, if somebody one-upped you, you would fucking kick their ass, right? These old school wrestlers. Instead, it's like, just chill out. So, basically what I get from the promo here is that we're not going to see anything really special between these guys for 2 whole weeks until the next pay-per-view rolls around. Then we're probably going to see something actually happen. Now, why are they treating this feud like it's so calm and professional and all that? They had a war at Backlash. Orton's dumping one of the Singh brothers right on this fucking neck. It was a great match. And they're just treating this very casually. Like, I really feel like just this whole thing, like Mahal just having a plain match with Mojo, with no fanfare, nothing special about it, just cutting a post promo, even though it was a good promo. They're treating this guy still like he's a mid-carder. It's the same exact thing with any of these guys, with AJ or Ambrose. They've won the belt, but they're not really at the upper echelon yet. They're not really making an effort to put these guys up on the stage. You know, Mahal is trying as hard as he can, giving the position, and they're not giving him that extra push that he needs. You know, they've got to make it feel special. They've got to feel like, you know, that Mahal means business. And I'm not really seeing that. If he attacked Orton, if he did more, you know, they need to do more with him. He pops up in the middle of the show to have a match. You don't, you know, first of all, Mahal should be opening the fucking show. He is the champion. As Vince Russo says, he is the hood ornament of the show, of SmackDown Live. He should be out there. How did they do it back in the Attitude Era? How did they do it back in the Ruthless Aggression Era? The champion, more times than not, would be out there first because he is welcoming you to the show. This show is about him. He is the champion. He is the best that this show has to offer. So, like I'm saying, it's still good. I'm still entertained by Mahal, but they're making him feel very unimportant, and he has the fucking belt. That's the most important thing in this company. The show is supposed to be about that fucking belt and everybody gunning for it. New Day defeats the Colognes. This was not special, but at the end we got to see something special. The Usos promo skills. If I hadn't mentioned it before, perhaps I should mention it again, or I haven't mentioned it in a while, so maybe it had been forgotten, but the Usos are fucking killer on the mic. I hated these guys as faces. There was nothing more annoying than seeing these guys coming out, doing this thing and yelping. It sounded like a wounded fucking dog, pretty much. And now we're getting these guys. They're all hyped up. They're all psyched up. They look like they just took a bump before they got out there. They're fucking hyper as shit. I love it. The way how they were firing away and you know, and giving disses to the to New Day, each and every member of them, like they were one-upping the faces. They were looking tough, and you know, this is what they needed. These guys feel at home. I could kind of see that these guys were probably dying for years to just be themselves. I don't think they wanted to come out there and paint their faces and yelp wearing colorful, bright tights. You know, I don't think that was them. You know, because they wanted to make them into the Samoans. Ooh, look at us, we're Samoans. They might as well have carried around the palm tree over their shoulder while juggling coconuts or some shit like that on a fucking surfboard. Whoa, dude, hang 10. I mean, like, you know, this is what was hiding beneath all that shit all this time? I mean, my God. This is definitely how the Usos should be. They should not fucking be... I had a phone call there. They should not be fucking yelping like a bunch of fucking mamalukes. They are definitely at home here. Baron Corbin beat up Sami Zayn backstage, which I liked. That was a backstage beatdown. You know, bullying the fucking cab driver, moronic bitch boy, Sami Zayn. Well, you know, the thing that I liked so much about Shinsuke Nakamura is he's really unpredictable. He's really technical, and he's got this stuff, and... I mean, look at Sami Zayn. It was almost like a gift from above that you just have him rush in there to shut him up with that boring-ass fucking promo. Now, remember I said keep in mind Jinder Mahal's facials? Look at Sami Zayn when he's talking. Look how this guy is just basically shooting the breeze. It's like the most boring conversation. If you knew Sami Zayn in real life, you'd walk away from him because the guy, he's just annoying. He's a fucking annoying piece of shit. This guy, Sami Zayn, I'm, really good at knowing my opponents. Like, he's just basically talking about wrestling a match. Who the fuck wants to hear about that? Telling us, thank God he didn't make it to the commentary table. I love that they had Corbin say, I guess a spot on commentary just opened up. Hallelujah. Anyway, in the main event, you had Nakamura defeating Fat Boy Owens. And if Fat Boy Owens, Fat Boy Joe, it doesn't matter. They're the same guy. The only thing separating them is Samoa. No, but I'll give Owens credit. Way more charismatic and way better on the mic than Joe. So I'm just kidding about that. But anyway, so if I'm going to choose a fat wrestler, I will go with Kevin Owens. But here's your U.S. champion, and Nakamura just pins him clean. It's amazing. Then you had a sneak attack from Corbin, and I guess now we're in. This is a little bit of build up towards Money in the Bank. So it was it was a pretty good show altogether. Owens just losing. Man, how the mighty have fallen. They give this guy the Universal title. Now he's losing his U.S. champ. I don't know. Anyway, the Fashion Files was a good segment. I really enjoyed well, not really enjoyed it, but it was a decent show. I really enjoyed that segment. And you had a couple of decent things. So SmackDown was way better than Raw this week. Way fucking better. But there you go. So maybe I'll do a SmackDown review next week. I do like reviewing Raw because of the flagship show and the Hardys and Cesaro and Sheamus. A couple of interesting things. And Brock's going to be there next week, so I'll definitely do a Raw review. But maybe I'll do a SmackDown review too. We'll see, guys. All right, until next time, motherfuckers.